A fragile peace hostage exchange marks milestone in Israel-Gaza ceasefire. The Israel-Gaza border stands quiet. For now, the bombs have stopped. A fragile ceasefire in place since January 19th offers a glimmer of hope. This week, a significant milestone was reached. The fifth exchange of hostages and prisoners. The deal, brokered by the International Red Cross, saw the release of 3 Israeli hostages. In return, 183 Palestinian prisoners were freed. This delicate dance between sworn enemies highlights the complexities of the conflict. The world watches, hoping this fragile peace might hold. The ceasefire, while welcomed, is just the first step on a long and uncertain road. The scars of decades of conflict run deep. Mistrust lingers on both sides. The humanitarian situation in Gaza remains dire. The coming weeks will be critical. The success of the ceasefire hinges on the commitment of both Israel and Hamas to dialogue and compromise. This latest exchange brought joy to families who have waited years for their loved ones' return. But it also served as a stark reminder of the human cost of this protracted conflict. The faces of the released hostages, etched with the ordeal they endured, spoke volumes. Similarly, the stories of Palestinian prisoners, some held for decades, paint a grim picture. The road to peace is paved with such moments. Moments of hope interspersed with reminders of the pain and suffering endured. As the ceasefire enters its next phase, the world can only hope that both sides seize this opportunity to build a lasting peace. Fifth exchange and humanitarian concerns, a closer look. The fifth exchange, completed on February 8th, saw the release of Eli Sharabi, Ohad Ben-Ami, and Or Levy. These 3 Israelis had been held by Hamas since their capture during the October 2023 conflict. Footage of their release showed them gaunt and visibly shaken. They were immediately transferred to Israeli custody for medical attention and reunification with their families. The 183 Palestinian prisoners released represent a diverse group. Some were serving sentences for acts of terrorism. Others were detained for participating in protests or engaging in political dissent. The condition of some of the released Palestinians raised serious concerns. 7 required immediate hospitalization. Reports indicate that many suffered from malnutrition and inadequate medical care during their detention. Israel expressed outrage at the condition of their citizens upon release. They accused Hamas of violating international law by mistreating prisoners of war. Officials vowed to raise these concerns with international mediators. They demanded that Hamas be held accountable for their actions. The International Red Cross, instrumental in facilitating the exchange, expressed concern over the health of those released. They urged both sides to prioritize the humane treatment of all detainees. The ICRC emphasized the importance of conducting future exchanges with dignity and respect for the individuals involved. The road ahead: ceasefire stages and reconstruction efforts. The current ceasefire agreement outlines a 3-stage process. The first stage, currently underway, is set to last for 42 days. This phase focuses on immediate humanitarian needs and confidence-building measures. Key elements include the ongoing exchange of hostages and prisoners, allowing displaced Palestinians to return to their homes, daily deliveries of humanitarian aid, and the gradual withdrawal of Israeli forces from populated areas within Gaza. The second stage will involve more complex negotiations. The goal is to establish a permanent ceasefire agreement. This will require addressing the root causes of the conflict, including the status of Jerusalem, the right of return for Palestinian refugees, and the future of Israeli settlements in the West Bank. The second stage will also see the remaining hostages and prisoners released. A full Israeli withdrawal from Gaza is also on the table. The third and final stage focuses on long-term solutions. This includes the return of the bodies of Israeli soldiers held by Hamas. Equally important is the reconstruction of Gaza. The besieged enclave faces a monumental task in rebuilding its shattered infrastructure and economy. International aid and cooperation will be crucial in this endeavor. The success of each stage hinges on the willingness of both sides to engage in good faith negotiations. The international community, particularly the United States, will play a critical role in mediating discussions and providing support for reconstruction efforts.